Stop addressing people on their weird behavior and just start removing their access because not everything needs a conversation. Some people already know what they're doing. They feel the shift. They notice the pullback. They just keep going to see how much you'll tolerate. And every time you explain, you give them more chances to misunderstand you on purpose. But here's the guidance part. Boundaries don't always come with speeches. Sometimes they come with distance. You don't know clarity to someone who keeps confusing you. You don't have to teach people how to treat you when they keep showing you that they won't. Removing access isn't punishment, it's protection. It's choosing peace over proving a point. It's saying, I see the pattern, and then quietly stepping out of it. The right people won't need constant reminders, and the wrong ones will feel the boundary without you saying a word.
You know what I love? When people cross your boundary for the last time and they don't even know it. Like, you just disrespected me for the last time and you don't even know it. Like, I literally start the detachment process that day. When you do that final straw, that just makes me realize how little you consider me, how little you respect me, and I start to do that energy pull, because that's what detaching is, pulling your energy back to you, because the person that you were, the people or the person you were giving it to doesn't appreciate you. And when I tell you, I had a moment like that with a person I love recently, and I'm just like, nah, like, you overly got me messed up, and now I gotta show you, but not show you to hurt you. Like, I gotta choose my peace, because when I'm in your even if I'm in your space or presence, I can't even give you access to me in that way. And y'all know what I mean, that emotional space where, like, you only give a select few access to that, and once you mess it up, it's like, I gotta keep you here.
When you start setting boundaries, people gonna call you mean, people gonna say you rude, people gonna say you disrespectful, especially your family. Especially your family. When they can't take advantage of you no more, when they can't get money from you no more, when they can't get them free resources out of you no more, when they can't call you whenever they get ready, when they don't have that instant access to you no more, you gonna be called everything but a child of God. But guess what? That's okay. Keep your boundaries. Make sure you standing on your boundaries now. Okay, don't let nobody just come in and do whatever they want to do, walk all over you, step on you like a welcome mat, treat you how they want to treat you. Ain't no more of that. Baby, you got to become unreachable to people now. This new life that you stepping into, baby, you got to become unreachable. They can't reach you like they used to be able to. They can't just call you up and you answer the phone. Set up a little instant message. A little instant message that'll go out when people call you. Can't talk right now. Call you later. Staying on the phone 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. Girl, but I'm busy. We busy over here. Busy. Working for the Lord. We busy working for the Lord. We standing on kingdom business, baby. Set them boundaries. People gonna call you mean. They gonna call you okay. I mean, cool. I've been called mean my whole life, because when I say something, I stand on it. People done call me mean. They call me disrespectful, hateful, because I know how to say no. But then my boundaries weren't that strong, so I was able to be manipulated and coerced out of my boundaries. So yeah, there's that. But now, oh baby, you can't get me to come up off no boundaries. I ain't got none to lend you. No, my boundaries, I'm standing 10 toes down, and you don't get easy access to me no more. When you blocked, you blocked. Okay, ain't no unblocking. You can't see my social media unless you make a new page. When you block, you block. Don't call me, don't text me. And I'm gonna tell you too, like, call my phone. Let somebody from the past call my phone or text my phone that I ain't blocked. Block. Don't call me no more. Block. Don't text me no more. Blocked. I have done that. And it's still people to this day, after I done told them to stop contacting me, they still find my social media page and try to act like they know me. Loving it, hearting it, liking it. Stop. I used to be easily accessible, but now it's a no for me, dog. It's a no for me. We ain't doing that no more. Set them boundaries, stand on it, and it's okay to be called everything but a child of God. Don't nobody care. Ain't nobody mad but the devil. Okay? Love you.
Repeating your boundaries is begging. It's pleading. It's nagging. I know this was horrible news for me to really, I can't get my earring in, really come to grips with this morning, is that like a boundary doesn't need to be stated multiple times. Like that's not what that is. Like I feel like a lot of my boundaries need to be internal, right? Like, oh, if this person continues to behave this way after I've told them how it makes me feel, then I will no longer. So if I find that you're rude to me and I say to you, I feel like you're being really rude to me and you keep being rude to me, I don't need to keep saying, I think you're rude to me. I need to stop hanging out with that person. If I tell someone I feel like you don't appreciate my time and they continue to do the thing that makes me feel like they don't appreciate my time, I don't need to keep asking them. I need to stop giving them my time. That's the boundary. I change my behavior. I speak up. I say what I need to say, and then I decide from there how I'm gonna move. I stop waiting for the other person to get on board, to do what I want them to do. Because they may or they may not. That's not what I can control. I can control me. So I'm not begging anymore. I'm not pleading. I'm moving accordingly.
I just heard one of the greatest lines of all time, and we need to live by it. I could have used this like 10 years ago. People only get upset about your boundaries when they intend on crossing them. Let me say that again. Other people only get upset about boundaries you put in place for yourself when you have put a boundary, a blockage in place so that they cannot cross your boundary. Respect. Keep that in mind. Live by that.
Setting healthy boundaries is not about you keeping other people out. If someone crosses your line in the sand, it's because you never made your line deep enough. No one can ever go further with you than you've given them permission to go. So as hard and as difficult as it is to hear, because this was hard for me to hear when I had to admit it to myself, that the way people treated me was based on how I trained them to treat me. So I have to say it to you. You've trained people to treat you the way they're treating you. So if people are crossing your boundaries because they didn't know it was there. If people call you at odd hours of night, it's because you keep answering. If people ask you to do beyond what you're able to do, it's because you keep saying yes. If people don't ever think you need rest, it's because you act like you don't need rest.
I'm going to give you some brutally honest advice that I wish somebody taught me sooner when it comes to having boundaries and having standards. You are struggling with your boundaries because you keep allowing yourself to get away with things when no one else is watching. You have a habit of lying to yourself. You have a habit of not showing up for yourself. You have a habit of saying you're going to do something and then you don't do it. So instead of focusing on these rules and regulations that you need to tell somebody else or lay out for somebody else, how about you start with not playing about yourself? I promise you, it becomes a lot harder to tolerate other people's behaviors when you don't even let yourself get away with it. Hope that helps.
Take it from me, your big sister, somebody who's lived a little bit. You are going to lose out on a lot of potential partners, spouses, husbands, running that extra strict program of yours. Listening to the group chat, listening to people online telling you what to do who have never even done it before or who are lying to you. The reality is you're running that extra strict program as a proxy for you not to be hurt, and intimacy cannot live where vulnerability does not exist. Or you're running that extra strict program so you can put in the group chat, I cut him off, blah, blah, blah. And the girls are gonna be like, yes, girl, queen, I love it. And then you're gonna be the last single woman in the group chat because your friends aren't doing that either. The reality is you have an extreme fear of being hurt or being played or being embarrassed. And you also don't know how to communicate boundaries or needs. So it's easier for you to cut him off. Or like many of us, you weren't taught how to date and you don't have any discernment when it comes to dating. So you outsource that discernment to group chats and social media. And what I'm saying is never to lower your standards or to not have boundaries, but you also have to be clear what is a standard, what is a boundary, and what is a preference and what is a fantasy experience that you had in your head. So my advice to you is seeking wise counsel from people who are actually in positions that you want to be in. AKA, if you want to be married, talk to married women who have been married for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. Don't talk to the group chat. Don't talk to ChatGPT. Don't talk to social media to
The quickest way to lose yourself and become completely unrecognizable to yourself is saying yes when you really want to say no. And I know that it's difficult for some of us to say no, but would you rather be uncomfortable for just a short amount of time after you say no, or be uncomfortable for years and sometimes decades because you continuously say yes when you really want to say no. You continue to say yes when God is telling you to say no. You continue to say yes when you don't have the capacity. You will look in the mirror one day and be completely unrecognizable to yourself. You will completely lose yourself because you have given every ounce of yourself to everybody else, even when you didn't even have it. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And when God tells you to rest, you cannot keep on, oh, I gotta give, I gotta give, I gotta give. There's a season for everything. Yes, there's a season to serve. Yes, there's a season to give. There's also a season to receive and to rest. You have to learn to say no. You have to learn your limits, especially as a giver, especially as a recovering people pleaser. I know. Oh, I know. All I ever wanted to do was please and give and give and give. And I was so angry. I was so bitter. I was so burnt out. I was so hurt. I was completely damaged. I couldn't even recognize who I was looking at in the mirror. If the answer is no, say no.
You can be a kind person with a really good heart and still tell people to fuck off when you need to. It's called boundaries. And the interesting thing about boundaries is boundaries are not what you say to other people. Boundaries are what you say to yourself. That, hey, I can be a kind person with a good heart and say no to people. And I need to start saying no to people. I need to start saying fuck off when people ask me to do stuff and then they give me a guilt trip. That's boundaries I need with myself. And I want you to say this reminder to yourself every time you get asked to do something that you just don't have the energy to do. Isn't it interesting that when you're kind to everybody else, you're often horrible to yourself? But being kind to yourself means a lot of times you got to be horrible to everybody else and disappoint them. So I have this friend who drops everything. I mean, everything. If I ever needed somebody to do something absolutely just irrational, like, could you come over on Christmas or, on the afternoon of your wedding and help me clean out the garage? This friend of mine, like, of course I would do that.
One of the things I done noticed is that a lot of people who don't respect boundaries or recognize boundaries will tell me that I'm being difficult. This will usually happen after I tell them no about something, or if I tell them that I don't want to talk about certain things, I'm allowed to set a boundary about what it is that I'm comfortable talking about or expressing. And I definitely don't have to do what it is you want me to do just because you want me to do it, and I'm allowed to say no. Those are boundaries. These would be the type of people that will tell me to have so much emotional intelligence and awareness. And I'm sitting here like, well, if you really had all that, then you wouldn't find it to be a problem. If I set a boundary, you would recognize what that is. What I need y'all to understand is that anytime somebody tell you they're uncomfortable with something, or they do tell you no and you continue to pry, you make an attempt to cross their boundaries. And when these type of people is trying to convince me that I'm being difficult, I feel like they're trying to manipulate me into giving them what it is they wanted out of me.
I recently had to tell my mother to stop fear-mongering me. I had to tell her that if she's gonna speak over me, she needs to only speak good things over me. I understand that parents are here to kind of guide you and push you in the right direction and help you prevent certain heartbreaks and certain difficult situations, but it's just getting to be too much. To remind her that as much as I know that she prays for me and wishes the best for me, when she is worried and filled with doubt and she shares those doubts with me, I feel like it slows me down and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And I know that a lot of us have the same experience, especially if you're African or Caribbean or just like have an immigrant parent. The fear mongering, it's insane. And I think it's very interesting when you have a religious parent who is fear-mongering, because for me, it's like, aren't we all operating under the idea that if it's God's will, it's God's will? I'm confused. One of the hardest things I've had to do is build a sense of self and resilience outside of my mother's fears. And I just finally had to tell her, like, hey, girl, I love you. I'm happy that we have a relationship now, but keep them doubts to yourself, okay?